What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Today we kind of have a bit of a different video, but a really cool one. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But we have two original decks from the original sets of Pokemon here that I played with growing up. They're based off of base set, jungle, and fossil. And I've got two, I guess, archetypes going on here. This is the water style deck, and this is the Burning Moon deck. Obviously, you'll see why I named them those, but I've been playing with these for years. These were the decks I played with growing up and the decks I played with on the actual Pokemon trading card game cartridge for Game Boy. And I tried to get those cards in real life to make the decks that I played in the game so I could play it in real life, if that makes sense. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get through this deck first. We'll start with the, the water style deck, but most of these are just energies. So this is just all water energies, and then we have fighting energies because water style, kind of going with that like Bruce Lee theme back in the day. So water and fighting energies. I think I had 10 and 10 of each. And here we go with the Pokemon cards in here. So we have Eevee, Vaporeon, Ditto, Kangaskhan, Machop, and I got two of those because you always wanted to try and get the evolutions on the field, because if they knocked out your basic Pokemon, there was really no way to get it back out of the discard pile. We got Machamp there, unless you had, cards like trainer cards to do it. We got Hitmonchan, which is a really great and competitive card back in the day. It only took one energy to get Jab going, and then 3 energies, one of them being a double colorless, so you could put any energy card down for that for Special Punch, and that was just a good card in general. Very playable. We have Hitmonlee. Can't have Hitmonchan without Hitmonlee in a fighting deck, right? So I remember Stretch Kick was a great attack because you can use it to hit, I think, 20 damage on your opponent's benched Pokemon. So if you had someone on the field that was like asleep or paralyzed or something, or they didn't have energies to attack, you could keep using Stretch Kick and hitting all their other Pokemon. And then obviously High Jump Kick was a good attack too, and it did 50 damage, so it was a pretty good one. So we got Poliwag here, and this one was actually shadowless, which was kind of funny, but it's pretty beat up because I played with it a lot. Poliwhirl and Poliwrath. I only had one Poliwag in this deck because I wanted to make room for some other guys, but usually for my basic Pokemon, I try to have multiple, so then that way I can get their evolutions on the field. Same thing with Magikarp and Gyarados here. Gyarados was a fun card to play, and he just looked really cool. Always thought it was kind of weird how in base set they printed him and he looks almost like neon or like a highlighter color with a little bit of green tint to it. But Gyarados is also a fun card. And then we got Articuno, which is also a really cool card. I remember pulling him out of a fossil pack one day from Toys R Us when I was very young, so that was a really cool pull. I remember that well. And then we got a Squirtle here. This one's shadowless as well. Pretty beat up, but played with it a lot, so it's just going to stay in the deck. Then we got another Squirtle, and obviously you know who's coming. We got Wartortle, and then Blastoise. That's the big one for this deck. That was basically the guy who I wanted to get in the field. He had a pretty good Pokemon power, and Hydro Pump wasn't too bad either. So then we have the trainer cards here. Defender and Plus Power, those were really useful for kind of softening the blow from your opponent with Defender, and then also pumping it up with Plus Power. Full Heal was a must. Energy Search was really useful. Obviously, you need energy cards to power up your Pokemon. And if you used them or you had people knocked out or you discarded energies, Energy Search or Energy Retrieval was useful for getting energies back out of the discard. Potions were also very necessary because you're going to want to heal your guys. And then I got a Super Potion in here, which you had to discard an energy to take 4 damage counters off instead of just the 2 for the normal potions. Energy Removal, definitely a good card. I think it was useful for taking the energy cards off of your opponent to stall their attacks. And then we had a Super Energy Removal too. Gust of Wind was just super overpowered. You can just switch one of your opponent's Pokemon when you played it. So that was really useful, especially if they had someone on the field that was really strong and powered up. Bill, everyone loves Bill. Just draw 2 cards. Pokedex was good because you can organize the top 5 cards of your deck in any order you want, and then put them back on your deck, and you knew what was coming. So, and Professor Oak was definitely a must as well, because you would discard your hand, draw 7 cards, and it was basically, if you didn't have anything in your hand, or if you couldn't really make any good moves, you would play Professor Oak to get that Pokemon or trainer card that you needed to do what you needed to do. So, all right, so now we have this deck, which was, I think, my most overpowered deck, which was called Burning Moon, and it's all fire-based. There is a ton of fire energies because the only other type of Pokemon I put in this deck were double colorless, and double colorless Pokemon could run off of any energy type you had, so that was also kind of an advantage. So we have Dratini, 2 of those with a Dark Dragonair. I liked this Dragonair better than the base Dragonair simply because it had the Pokemon power, which was also very useful. Then we got good old Dragonite. Everybody loved this card. You can see how pretty beat up and played it is, but still a very beautiful card. Its Pokemon power is good because you can step in or whatever, and that would make it so you can switch Dragonite from your bench with an active Pokemon, and that was good. And Slam was good because you can flip 2 coins and hit potentially 80 damage. Now, this isn't the most powerful card in my deck, but I think that Clefairy from base set was very underrated. This is a base set 2 version, but very, very underrated Pokemon. That obviously Sing being, you could put Pokemon asleep if you flipped a heads, and that was useful. But Metronome, that was really, really useful because once you have the energies on there, you can copy your opponent's attack, basically, and hit them with it. So if someone had a Charizard on the field and it had, even just a little bit of damage on it, you can throw Clefairy on the field. It would be powered up and use Metronome, and you can use Charizard's attack, do 120 damage to it, and basically knock it out in 1 move. So Clefairy was very overpowered. I have 3 of them in this deck, and then I also couldn't have Clefairy without Clefable, which also had Metronome, but it only costs 1 energy for him, so I had 3 of those Clefables in there. So those were really good cards. They kind of helped me win a lot of Pokemon battles in the TCG a lot. Magmar, pretty simple, Fire Punch, and then Flamethrower, you would have to discard an energy, but that's what those energy retrievals were for. Couldn't have a fire deck without Growlithe and Arcanine. Those were awesome Pokemon. I thought Arcanine was pretty sweet. I don't know why they didn't make him a holo in base set because he was really good, and he actually wasn't even a rare. He was just an uncommon. He's got the diamond there instead of a star, so that was just kind of weird to me, and I always thought he was a really cool Pokemon, and he would look awesome as a holo. So Pokemon Company, if you're listening, print that as a holo, which I highly doubt they will do, but whatever. Vulpix, he was good. Had to have 9 tails in your deck to do a fire deck. Like I said before, usually I have multiple of the basic Pokemon, but some guys I just wanted to throw in there for fun, just as little, I guess, extras that you can get on the field. So we have Moltres. I had Articuno in the other deck, Moltres in this deck. His Dive Bomb attack was good, but if you hit tails, you wouldn't do any damage, but otherwise it was a pretty good card to have in the deck. Then obviously you know what's coming. We got 2 Charmanders, a Charmeleon, and then the big boy himself, Charizard. And, 120 was his HP, not the damage. So, yeah, with Clefairy, you would just do 100 damage using that Fire Spin on someone else's Charizard. But either way, if you would have done anything, to the Charizard that was on the field, it only had 120 HP. So if you hit it once with one of your other Pokemon and then it knocked out your Pokemon you had in the field before Clefairy, you can easily use Metronome and knock out that Charizard. So we have full heal here, and that just makes it so your Pokemon are no longer asleep, confused, or paralyzed, obviously. We got some potions, Super Potion, Energy Search. I put a few of these energy retrievals in here as well, just like the last time. Energy Search is really useful because you can search for energies, energy retrieval, getting them out of your discard. Then we have the energy removals. I had 2 of those in this one with a super energy removal. Pokemon Trader was useful because you can trade one of the basic Pokemon or the evolution cards in your hand for one of the basic Pokemon or evolutionary cards from your deck. So you would be able to search for who you needed to evolve your Pokemon, and then you would just shuffle your deck afterwards. But that was really useful if I wanted to get Charizard on the field and I couldn't find him if he wasn't in my deck or in my prizes. But that was also a factor too, because if your Charizard or whoever you were trying to get on the field would be in your prizes, it would be just really tough to figure out which one he was in. So we had Recycle. This was just useful. If you got heads with it, you can put a card from your discard on the top of your deck. So that was a good card. Switch was good if you need to switch anybody out. That's all that does. Computer Search. I think this was a really good card. It was a rare from base set, and it was also printed in base set 2. But if you could see here, discard 2 of the other cards from your hand in order to search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. So another search card, but you had to sacrifice 2 cards to the discard pile in order to get who you needed. But then we have 3 double colorless energies in here because I had all these double colorless Pokemon in there, so I just threw the energies in there with it. But yeah, that was my original 2 decks that I played with growing up. Still have them. It was really cool to look through these. And I also have this little tin in the back here that I kept one of the decks in. This is old, very old. Zapdos Articuno Moltres. I think what year is this from? 2004. Wow. So yeah, it's definitely old. It's got some wear and tear on it, but it definitely did its job. And I think it will continue to do its job. I'm probably going to re-sleeve these, put these in a little bit better sleeves, and just keep them in my possession because I don't really want to sell them. They're sentimental. But anyways, guys, I know that was kind of a different video and there wasn't anything opened in this, but I thought it would be cool to share with you guys what my little competitive strategy was back in the day with the Pokemon trading card game. I do have some modern decks. I played mostly modern Pokemon TCG during the XY and early Sun and Moon era. Nowadays, I just kind of collect, but if I have someone to play with, I'll always play. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.